All right. For the purposes of this recording, welcome to the community call. We're just going to keep it going, guys. XP for all attendees, Q&A in the chat. A salute to CNP Chris for not only letting me know I made a mistake, but sticking by his guns when I told him he was incorrect. My recorder wasn't starting correctly. So thanks again, Chris. It's really appreciated. That's it for the CTAs on XP. We'll talk about those a little bit more in a little bit. No product updates for you this week, but a lot of priority missions to talk about. Graham, did you want me to run through these, or would you like the pleasure?
I'll take those on because there's a couple little things that are happening there. Let me pull them up. But the big one, you guys are well aware now, if you've been attending the calls, that Niantic Spatial now, that's spun out of Niantic Labs, is a partner of ours and a client of ours. And this capture program in Los Angeles, it just went live about an hour and a half ago. 852 grid mapping missions across LA, about $17,000. There will be a few more phases of that we'll work through that are in some of the Lance airspace, but this is all the open airspace ready to fly missions. They're ready to go. So they're on the board. They are live. There's about $17,000 worth of capture in LA right now. So super excited about that one. Probably our largest non-governmental launch or capture on the from a direct client request. So we're looking forward to that growing more. Little alpha for you guys. We have some upcoming announcements and partnership announcements, go-to-market announcements with Niantic Labs that'll be going live in the next week or two here. So really exciting stuff on that front. And as far as we're concerned, just getting started. One chunk of one city. We're looking at seeing these things go live regularly, hopefully throughout the coming months. So really exciting there. 850 something missions. Expect another 400 to 600 in different smaller waves that will require some sometimes authorization, sometimes altitude adjustments and things like that. So we'll let you know as those are coming down the pipeline. I'm gonna get back to our little run of show here. There were 3 missions in Los Angeles. Those were picked up already. Thank you, Regular Cheetah, for picking those up. And thank you, Unusual Silverfish, for trying to pick those up. We are identifying some interesting little bugs with different people's submissions, and that really helps sometimes when pilots take the time to report issues to us really thoroughly. Makes a difference. We can provide that information to our engineers, and they can troubleshoot. So helpful there. We had 45 missions go live in Calgary, Alberta yesterday, 2 days ago, and then Calgary, Alberta got hit with a dump of snow. So we have paused those missions. I know a lot of them were reserved. So if you are a reserving pilot, let us know. We believe that our locking of those missions should not negatively affect your rating or RP, but please confirm that for us. Those will go live again in a couple of days once the snow is cleared. Obviously, significant snow on the ground is problematic for stitching orthomosaics because they turn into a big white winter wonderland, and there are no tie points for the software to decide what's what, and it ends up all garbled and jumbled. So we'll put those back up as soon as the weather clears and the ground is clear. We still have 66 missions in Talquah Smithers, British Columbia, looking for someone that's maybe planning to head up that way or is from up that way or knows someone from up that way. We will be announcing a small completion incentive for that campaign. So if you're interested in a road trip to northern British Columbia, or if you're from somewhere along the Prince George to Kitimat corridor, reach out, let us know. And the missions in New Albany, Columbus, thank you to the pilot who went out and did what they could there. Those were requested by a we call it like a research market research firm. They are over some data centers that are under construction. There were some access issues. Thanks for giving it a good shot. If someone thinks they can get more of those, that would be great, but they may end up coming off the board, as it sounds like they're difficult to access due to some gates and restrictions. So that is it for our demand-led missions, Bryce, right now. But LA is the center of attention at this moment.
Excellent. Thanks for running us through those. On the other side of non-priority missions, we've got a lot of launches this week and last. So on Monday, April 13th, Richmond, Virginia saw 294 missions launch. Tuesday, April 14th, Houston, Texas, same number. Wednesday, April 15th, Edmonton, Alberta, again, same number. Thursday, April 16th, Virginia Beach, Virginia. And Thursday, April 16th, we also launched missions in Dallas, Texas, only about 200 there. And then on Friday, April 17th, Ottawa, Ontario, we'll see about 300 missions go live. Next week, and once again, these are posted for the entire month in pilot announcements in case you want the non-audio version. So, starting next week on Monday, April 20th, St. Louis is getting 300 missions. Tuesday, April 21st, Phoenix, Arizona, 294 missions. I don't know why I'm rounding my numbers right now. Wednesday, April 22nd, Cincinnati, Ohio, 294 missions. Thursday, April 23rd, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Albuquerque, New Mexico are both getting 294 missions. And then finally, Friday, April 24th, Nanaimo, BC, same number of missions. And that is this week and next week's launches. Anything, did I get any states wrong this time, Graham?
I think you nailed all the states. There are some, I see some questions occasionally in the Discord about why they come out the way they are. Some people, we've made some different, we've given out different bits of information at different times. Bryce calls them non-priority missions. Essentially, these are missions that we're launching to A, front run demand, but B, stress test the network and understand different areas. We are providing both, what would you call it, I guess, areas where we believe the network is strong to clients. We are providing area or potential clients areas we think the network is strong and can capture. And oftentimes those come with, if not like strict service level agreements, at least questions about the delivery times on imagery, etc. So some of what we do might look strange when it hits the board. It's like, why did they do it that way? Each of those sort of different launches and different campaigns in different cities are decided for a variety of reasons. There's a variety of things that we're watching and testing and understanding about the network and the speed of capture and the delivery. And then obviously all that information and imagery is also being processed through into different deliverables. So, some of it is a little bit, what do you want to call it, subjective. A lot of it has some KPIs internally attached to it. But then the demand missions come like what's in LA, and that goes out as fast and as quickly as we hear about it. So there are missions that you'll hear about in advance. These launches that Bryce is reading out for the next couple of weeks, sometimes for the whole month, maybe 2 months in advance. And there are other missions that just show up and hit the board. And so that's just a little bit of the justification as to answer some of these questions of why did we do it like that? There's not a perfect science behind it, but there is some reasoning and logic behind it. So that's what we're doing in the back end. Back to you.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to community and network updates. Guys, it's great. The network is growing. We are at over 10,000 registered pilots. We're about to hit 6.5 million total acres mapped, as well as about to hit 220,000 total missions that are successfully uploaded. That's a very big deal. Likewise, on the other side of things, Spexi team has been busy. Graham already gave you guys the alpha. That's not even public information yet, to be clear, so be cool about it. We'd like to make it public information in a cool way. And you're not going to blow up our spot if you do text your parents about it, but just a heads up. We're only telling you guys this. But yeah, on that note, something Spexi rolled out this week, you can see in the general announcements, is you can preview imagery from every Spexigon that's been flown at world.spexi.com. I just shared the link in the chat. So there you go. Finally, another update on the community side. Raider and Super Raider roles and their channels are being retired at the end of this week or month. But what we do have coming out are some new community channels and roles. This is, I say new, it's probably going to be more of a refinement of our existing roles. I'm trying to continue this month in terms of organizing the Discord, making it as pleasant as possible to use, but also making it evergreen and useful. So expect some of those updates. I will categorize them for you as they come out, let you know, and share them in these chats as we move forward. But we have some specific people to highlight in the community. First of all, this week, the only son of man, I want to give a big thanks for flagging spam and scam accounts using the @mod. If you guys ever see somebody in the chat pretending to be a mod saying, hey, check out this link, or hey, send me your wallet, or hey, go here for support, use the @mod command. It'll get a Spexi team member or one of our Discord mods in there, get that post deleted as soon as possible, and we'll send you some XP for your trouble. On that note, Dajube, once again, answering questions throughout the week. Literally on this call, saw somebody post a bad link, deleted it, called it out, did everything right. So, want to thank you too. They're not the only community contributors this week, obviously. Just the ones I saw and saw repeatedly showing up in that way. So I want to say thank you to you two. We'll send you another 50 XP at the end of this call. On that note, we have our XP leaders from the past week. I will be sharing these in the chat just because me trying to say these names is always very funny. Oh, actually, it's not that bad once I actually convert them from their Discord usernames. In first place, Uzi. In second place, Jesse. And once again, always in the top 3 as of late, Dajube in third place. It's worth noting that almost all of their XP is just from being helpful in the Discord. So that's pretty impressive. On that note, I have been promising a new Ask a Pilot question. Guys, you'll never guess what was just posted. Unfortunately, the chat window is right what I need to access, or rather, it's like floating over the ability to thread it and stuff. Oh, yeah. So please excuse my first attempt at an answer. And I'm going to share that with you guys.
Go ahead. I'm going to pick up a great question from Duncan about where the name Spexi comes from. And it was actually well answered by James. It is a sort of a play on the Latin of to seek or to look for or to observe kind of thing. So Bill Lakeland, our CEO, came out of the air photo space, and that was exactly where it was derived from, was sort of this the idea of looking and finding and observing from the sky. I think there's a second word in there that that played together with it to an aerial view, but it is certainly to look at or to seek. And I hope that bought you a minute or two to do what you were doing, Bryce. One more question from Free Shkreli is what companies we're looking at for non-DJI or non-Chinese airframes. We did recently do a fairly deep dive on airframes and honestly didn't come up with much yet. We have some potential partners that are building and designing. One is in SDK software development stages that we'll try to integrate with or interact with. Another is GeoNet that's looking at building a small drone, but they're ways away. We have also looked at sort of runway we feel like we have with the Mini 2, 3, 4 and potentially 5 if it gets added to the SDK, and still feel like we're fairly healthy in terms of those airframes that are already approved by the FCC, so allowed to be sold in the United States, have SDKs, and obviously access for pilots in the US. And then globally, it's obviously a different conversation. But good question, something that's definitely always sort of sitting there in our mental, taking up a little bit of living rent free in our heads a little bit, I guess. Bryce, did that
absolutely. Sorry to pop back in. I'm seeing a lot of good questions. One of which that's come up a lot is the basic question of how do I connect to Zealy for XP? I'm seeing it come up piecemeal. I'm just going to post a link in the chat right now that is a basic guide for connecting your Discord and wallet, like the one connected to your Spexi account, to Zealy to earn XP. You don't have to do the quests on Zealy, by the way. It is a way to earn XP, but it's not mandatory to do it. You can literally just earn XP for like getting us a little salute in the chat, for being helpful, doing any of these community call campaigns we do, or doing that stuff on Zealy, you see, which ranges from follow on Twitter to give us some feedback on the product and things of that effect. Sorry, I cut you off, Graham. Excellent. As I noted already and shared in the chat, this week's Ask a Pilot is live. So if you answer in the next 40 minutes, you'll get double XP. It's 25 XP for a good, useful answer. 200 XP if you share some images or videos that we can potentially share on social. Finally, we have a new podcast episode out this week with Dylan Gorman, who you might know from his 100,000 plus YouTube followers and 7,500 missions. Very nice guy, very knowledgeable guy. We actually talked a lot more about drone business than I really expected to. And he had some extremely good insights. A little fun fact about me is I've largely been self-employed for the past 20 years. Spexi was the exception to that for me. And it was really impressive talking to Dylan about that, as he has had a honestly similar level of self-employment, but specifically with drones, which I can't make claim to. But I can say that his advice around that was genuinely solid. So I shared the YouTube link there. It's also on RSS if you like it. I believe that link is just in community content if you want that one, or just search the Drone Network on your podcatcher of choice. That is roughly it in terms of community, network, and platform updates, but I have seen a lot of good questions come up, a lot of which were actually answered in the chat. Just to run through a few, Taser Laser. Taser Laser is a great name. Taser Laser asks, do you have a feature to notify pilots once new missions go live in each city? The answer is yes. The better answer is yes, you just need to sign up for email notifications. Link was shared in the chat for that. So please do check it out. And if he's in the chat, hat tip to Paul, who's been working extremely hard to get those notifications better and more useful for folks. KPV asked the question of the week. When does the May schedule come out? Usually 1 to 2 weeks before the next month. We try to post that for you guys, or at least share a preview of it with you. Why were there... Oh, this was AVG Todd. Why were there uncompleted Spexicons for Minneapolis, St. Paul? I believe the short answer there was those were only live for 2 weeks, and they needed to be closed once they weren't flown. If there's any more color we want to put on that answer, feel free. But there are some unanswered questions we should probably be getting to if I haven't done so yet. Any LayerDrone Threads account yet? Short answer, no. Longer answer, I'm actually looking at Blue Sky, but there might be the possibility of just doing both at the same time. Candidly, well, there's not much more to say there. I don't see there's any reason we can't, other than it's just another platform to have to pay attention to. But to be perfectly honest, it's not like I like using Twitter any more than Threads right now. So, more platforms is better. Oh, now sending me a private DM to correct how I say Daijube's voice. You'll notice I get less confident right at the end of it. And I swear to God, I was saying it correctly in Japan. And then the moment I came back, I lost my self-esteem. So, Duncan Smith, good question. And I will look into creating a Threads account. Nav, friendly feedback, much appreciated. Don't let it happen again. Are there any questions I've missed?
We just had a question in about Spexi app being made available in the UK. We have been for well over a year now doing small tests again in conjunction with Niantic in the UK. Larger rollout is on our future roadmap, not only in the UK, but right now our big focus is on what we're kind of calling product market fit. So really making sure that the deliverables that we can put in front of a client are, meet the value expectations and the accurate expectations, etc., that they're willing to pay for before we expand supply into areas where we don't necessarily have a sales team ready or things like that. So the answer is yes, but I don't have a timeline for you. It could be sooner than later if demand shows up in those areas. So
absolutely. I saw somebody ask an interesting question, and then I immediately lost it. Let me see if I had the wherewithal to copy and paste it. Yes, Duncan Smith. How is the Canadian domestic drone manufacturing industry? Graham, I bet you know a better answer than me, but I'm going to guess it's something similar to not great.
Not great. Yeah, it's much like the US one. It's expensive to build drones here. The parts often end up coming from overseas anyways. The Canadian government doesn't have quite the sort of standoffish, whatever you would call it, stance towards the Chinese manufacturing that the American government does. So there's less of less scrutiny on the DJI units. They're still quite popular even within government organizations. So I think the US probably has quite a lead in that sense. Even though the U.S. remains a long ways behind China, the U.S. has some government focus, some dollars, and some investment money going into their domestic drone manufacturing space to a larger degree than Canada does. It's nominal.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about Canadian manufacturing and things downwind of that is it's often it's much like the country itself. It's very import based, wherein like things would be imported and repackaged or remanufactured before moving along to say, I mean, honestly, the two countries you referenced, America or China, respectively. A lot of cars get manufactured in Canada that are often credited as American made and vice versa as a result of that supply chain and manufacturing chain, I suppose. But I am quickly starting to talk about something I don't know much about, so I'm going to stop there. I'm seeing a couple more questions. Canadian drones ride horses. Yes. What was an actual relevant question I saw? I think I saw something about missions closing in Winnipeg. And my quick guess there is weather. Did we have some missions live in Winnipeg? And if so, why did they close?
Oh, just he's wondering why Winnipeg's all locked up right now. So not opened and then closed. Yeah, we'll have some more Canada, and I mean very, very tentative teaser of a large Canada-wide collection program. I'm not going to go into any details because nothing's quote unquote real yet, but certainly conversations happening around a much larger Canadian collection, potentially for as early as late spring, early summer of this year. So we're excited about that, but I don't want to turn it into anything real until I have more real news to tell you. There's another question follow on to that a little bit about potential RP only missions or missions that would just be flyable for anyone. So they have some opportunities in their area. We are looking at that again, sort of reframing and reworking how potentially sort of what we had dubbed open capture missions might work, possibly with some small amount of rewards or nominal rewards in different areas. So it's not totally just for fun, but not sure exactly how that will look right now. And resources have been more heavily focused on A, priority missions, delivering on client demand, and then B, growing and testing the network and the delivery of product. So hopefully something coming down the line on that before the end of Q2, ideally, but can't promise anything right now.
Absolutely. I just want to give everyone the 2-minute warning on this call. If you have any outstanding questions you want to get to us, now is the time. As always, if we don't get to your question on the call, just try to post it in a public channel. Tag someone if it is urgent and high priority, but otherwise we will get to it as soon as possible. And we will make sure your answer is visible to everyone else, because chances are you're not the only person wondering that. All right. From Chad, how are the backlogs on trouble tickets coming? Ooh, that is a good question that I hesitate to answer. Graham, have you checked in on Nav's health recently? Oh, it's improving.
Oh yeah, Nav, do you want to give a quick update on tickets? It should be fairly positive outlook.
Yeah, so we've had great, basically resolve for a lot of issues which were related to uploads and other drone related bugs and app related bugs. So they're working out, and engineering has rolled out pretty much all of the existing bugs and the reported ones. So any pilots who were affected with the failed uploads and stuff like that, they should see their compensation for the affected flights come in the next 1 to 2 weeks, and more updates regarding that from support. But yeah, the volume of ticket has definitely gone down, and we are keeping up with most of them. So looking great.
Great. Thank you for the update, Nav. Love to hear that. All right, I am seeing a bit of product troubleshooting happening in the chat, so I'm going to let Graham keep doing that, just around some locked Spexigons. We are on our last minute, so I just want to take this time to thank you guys so much once again for attending the call. In particular, a lot of great questions out there. AVG Todd, KPV, Taser Laser, again, great name. Duncan Smith. Oh god, that was one of the names. Still Jadis, LD. It doesn't help that I have these all in like a code space so that I can see them better, but as a result, they get a little garbled. Soup's Inappropriate Wildebeest and Lolboedith. Thank you guys all for the great questions. My ability to say your name does not affect my ability to reward XP to the first folks who ask these good questions. So at least the first 5 will get some bonus XP this week, as well as all the other XP initiatives I mentioned. Don't forget to check out the Ask a Pilot question just over in community content, answering the thread in the next 30 minutes, and you'll get double XP. Once again, thank you guys so much for taking the time on this call. I will do my best to get the recording uploaded for you guys as soon as possible. And once again, I will share that in the community category. Thanks again. Anything to leave them with, Graham?
Nope, that's good for me. I said no to pineapple on pizza, but I know it's a personal preference thing.
Excellent. Thank you guys one last time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks all. Have a great evening.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.